We'll call the City Council adjourned meeting for Monday, March 20th, 2006 to order, and we'll stand with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Roll call, please.
Arbogast,
Here.
Garnis.
Here.
Gisselbeck,
Here.
Heller.
Here.
Johnson is absent. Mr. Meisenheimer,
Here.
Solberg,
Here.
Mrs. Walder and Mr. Wilson are both absent. Mrs. York,
Here.
thank you.
Item number 1 is a motion to approve the minutes of the City Council meeting held March 6, 2006.
So moved.
So moved by Alderman Heller. Second? Seconded by Alderman Giselbeck. Are there any changes or additions to the minutes? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 2 is the application for a transfer of a retail on-sale liquor license from CAM Development Group Incorporated, Sunnyside Inn, to Winners Incorporated, Winners. And we'll begin with a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to the issue? If not, then we'll close the public hearing and ask for council action. Will there either be a motion to either approve or disapprove of the transfer? Motion by Alderman Solberg. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Meisenheimer. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 3 is a petition for relocating and vacating of drainage easement in Hidden Valley, resolution number 06-14. Rick?
Thank you, Mayor Fox, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council. If you would open the public hearing, Mayor.
We'll be opening the public hearing on the relocating and vacating of the drainage easement. And of course, Rick, you're here to speak to that issue.
Yeah, I'll introduce it, and I guess I haven't checked the audience to see if we have our petitioners and applicants here, but the petitioners and applicants are Brian K. Prouty and Sonny M. Prouty. The consultant that they have representing them is Rodney DeYoung of Austin Engineering. They have petitioned the city council to relocate, and actually to relocate the existing drainage easement that is on their property. And they have offered to relocate the existing drainage to another location on their property. I've intended to have included in your packet for your information prior to the meeting this handout that I have provided to you on your desks. So will help us through the discussion, and if you feel that there's a need to share this information with our viewers, we will try to get that accomplished here too. But the Plan Commission dealt with this issue or considered this issue on February 23rd. We heard the first reading of this resolution on March 6th. We had to advertise it a couple times according to state statute, so that brings us to this evening and the public hearing. The location is on lots 20 and 21, block 2 of Hidden Valley, so that'll give us a frame of reference as to the location of this property. The public hearing has been public noticed in the Watertown Public Opinion as well for everyone's information. An address, that's kind of what I was looking for here, if I can find that. 852 and 856 Pompesca Drive would be the approximate addresses there. This comes with the recommendation from the Plan Commission in their resolution number 2006-07 to go ahead and vacate the existing drainage easement, which, as you'll see in your handout that I provided, would go right. They're planning to build their house right over top of that easement, which of course is something that we can't do. We have to accommodate that drainage on a location elsewhere on their property, which they have provided for, be on the north side of their property. We've also asked that Austin Engineering take a look at the dimensions. You'll see that as dimensioned and drawn, the 8-to-1 side slopes would put the construction on someone else's property, which is also an issue that we can't issue a permit without concurrence from that neighboring property owner. And we have received on March 17th information that the geometry of the drainage channel has been changed to keep it within that 20-foot easement. So I think that would really conclude all my comments. And, if the applicants are here, I'll certainly defer to their comments and try to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Rick. Are the applicants here tonight? If not, is there anyone else to speak to the issue? If not, then we'll close the public hearing and go to council action.
So moved.
So moved by Alderman Garnis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Gizelbeck. Any further discussion? If not, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Item number 4 is the second reading of ordinance number 06-02, revising Title VI relating to disinterment at Mount Hope Cemetery. Roger?
This is the second reading tonight. We explained it briefly at the first reading, so I'll just try and answer any questions. In basic terms, we're just writing our ordinance to be in compliance with state statute on the disinterment.
Okay. With that, could we have a motion, please?
So moved.
So moved by Alderman Garnos. Is there a second? Seconded by Alderman Heller. Any further discussion or questions? If not, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Roger. Item number 5 is the proposed lease of airport runway protection zone property to Mr. Donald Nogelmeyer for farming purposes. And Eric, would you like to begin with the public hearing?
Sure. What we're talking about is a new lease with Donald Nogelmeyer for the Landsberger land south of 4th Avenue for 105 acres, Tract 1 and Tract 2. It'll be a 5-year lease, and 1 year will be free, and the rest 4 years will be $4,725.00. It's basically almost a carbon copy of the lease we signed a couple years ago with him. If you have any questions, I'd be free to answer them.
Is there anyone else here to speak to that issue?
Mayor, the only additional thing I would add is this issue has been discussed with the Public Works Committee and comes with a recommendation for approval.
Thank you, Herb. If not, then we'll close the public hearing and go to council action. May I have a motion then, please?
I would.
I'll move by Alderman Gizelbeck. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Alderwoman Arbogast. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 6, consideration of bids received for equipment and supplies for the solid waste department. A is the alternative daily cover applicator, B is the used water truck, and C is a 95-gallon refuse containers. And Mike Berger?
Thank you. Bids were opened at 10 a.m. on Friday, March 10th for the alternative daily cover applicator, used water truck, and 95-gallon refuse containers. 2 bids were received for the alternative daily cover applicator. We recommend awarding this to the low bidder, Bowie, in the amount of $39,980. This is $39,000 under budget, and the reason it's under budget is that we had originally budgeted $79,000 for a chassis-mounted unit, and subsequently elected to go with a less expensive trailer-mounted unit, which will be pulled by our loaders. One bid was received for the used water truck from J.D. Evans. Previously, we bid this item and we received 4 bids. 3 of those did not meet the specifications. They could not legally carry the water tank fully loaded, so we rebid it. But the original bids ran from $45,000 to $79,900. The current bid from J.D. Evans is for a 1993 Peterbilt with a 2005 3,000-gallon tank on it, and this unit does meet the specification. We recommend awarding this bid to J.D. Evans in the amount of $65,000. It's essentially the same truck they bid the first go around with modifications so it can legally carry the water tank fully loaded. This is $7,500 over the budget. However, with the $39,000 below budget on the previous item, the bottom line is well within line. Next, then, 3 bids were received for the 95-gallon refuse containers. 1 did not include bid security, and we recommend awarding this to the low bidder, Northern Truck Equipment, for the Cascade container in the amount of $52 per container, freight included. The container meets specifications, and we have ordered these before, and they've worked well for us. And we do budget $32,000 for these containers, and that's for municipal solid waste containers and yard waste containers. At the price of $52, this will purchase 615 containers. So again, I recommend awarding this bid to Northern Truck Equipment for the Cascade container in the amount of $52, freight included. And these recommendations come with the approval of the March 14th Public Works Committee.
May we have a motion then, please? So moved by Alderman Solberg. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Alderwoman Arbogast. Any further discussion?
Just a question, Mike, you say there's 615?
Yeah. Yep. They're $52 a piece. Yeah. So. Oh yeah, definitely. We sell over 400 a year of the green yard waste containers. I think we're running about 430 to 450 on average over several year average. And then the remainder would be the blue containers, and those can run sometimes 150 a year. So, yep.
Any other questions? If not, then all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Mike. Item number 7 is approval of landing fee agreements. First with Business Aviation Couriers, and B is Air Max Incorporated. Eric?
Okay, if it's okay, I'll handle A and B together because they're basically the same lease, if that's okay. They're going to be a 5-year lease, automatically renewing every 1 year with the same cancellation clauses that we've always had with them. Basically, they terminate whenever they feel they need to no longer come into Watertown. And with that, there'll be $5 per landing for every commercial landing that they bring into the airport.
Is that
That's
basically, that's it? Okay. We have a motion then, please? So moved by Alderman Meisenheimer. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Gizelbeck. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Eric. Item number 8 is authorization to apply for a federal assistance to firefighters grant for the purchase of a new ladder truck. Mike Youngerman, please.
Good evening. I'd like to request permission to apply for an Assistance to Firefighters grant for the department, from the Department of Homeland Security. This grant is to be for a 104-foot platform pumper truck. The bid from Central States Fire Equipment for this truck is $675,000. When I initially spoke to the Finance Committee about this grant, we discussed a 90% grant, and I've recently gone to a Assistance to Firefighter workshop in Brandon, and the instructor is also an evaluator. And one of his recommendations is if the city would be willing to up their portion of the grant instead of the 10%, which is required, it would greatly increase our odds of getting this truck. And I spoke to Tracy about it. So what we'd like to do is request a permission to seek 70% of the grant, or for a total of $472,500. Our 30% portion would be $202,500, which according to Tracy's figures is roughly the amount that has been set aside for the purchase of this truck. And this would be replacing our 1962 65-foot snorkel truck.
May we have a motion then, please?
So moved.
So moved by Alderman Garnos. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Solberg. Any further discussion or questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Item number 9 is the authorization to apply for a state mosquito control grant for the purchase of materials and supplies. And I believe, Roger, or Mike, you were also going to ask for the chemicals under the state bid contract. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Thank you. I'd like to request permission for the mayor to sign the grant application for the 2006 Department of Health Mosquito Control Grant Program. Recently, Roger Adams and I attended the 2006 seminar and have prepared a grant application. Once again, this will be a joint application between the City of Watertown and Cottington County. The total request is for $34,968.92, and this is amounts to 50% of the combined chemical budget for the county and the city. The 2006 program provides 50-50 money for chemicals only on existing programs, and this is our third year now of our program. To recap, the city and the county received $36,500 in 2004, $33,050 in 2005, and with the state indicating there's a similar amount of funds available this year, we're kind of optimistic about this application. And again, at this time, I would also like to request permission to purchase these chemicals off the state bid. State bid exists for all but one item. State bids are available for the adulticide, which is our Anvil 10+10 the formulating oil used with the adulticide, and the larvicide briquettes and the granular larvicide. One item, the water-soluble packets of larvicide, which we use to treat the storm sewers, is not on state bid, but we will be purchasing less than the $15,000, which is the state bid, or the bidding process threshold, probably about $7,500 or half of that amount. So bidding will not be required for that item. So again, I'd like to request permission for the mayor to sign the grant application for the 2006 mosquito application. This does come with the approval of March 14th Public Works Committee as well.
May we have a motion then, please? So moved by Alderman Gizelbeck. Is there a second? Seconded by Alderman Garnos. Any further questions or discussion?
Yeah, is the program going to be the same as it has been?
Yes, it is.
No plans for changes or improvements?
Nope. The program's working fine for us, and so we're continuing with it the same as last year.
Any other questions or discussion? If not, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Mike. Item number 10 is the authorization to advertise for bids for the 2006 sanitary sewer projects. Dave Peterson?
Good evening. We'd like to ask your permission to advertise for bids for the 2006 sanitary sewer project. This is replacement of sanitary sewers in 7 different locations around the city, and I believe there's 13 different manhole locations and intersections in different areas of the city. This comes to you with the recommendation of the Public Works Committee for approval.
May we have a motion then, please? So moved by Alderman Heller. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Meisenheimer. Any further discussion or questions? If not, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 11 has been withdrawn. Moving on to item number 12 is the approval of the application for abatement or refund of taxes for University Homes for 2004. The amount is $771.70, and the reason for this, it was double assessed, so I guess we should return one of them. So could I have a motion, please? So moved by Alderman Solberg. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Alderwoman Arbogast. Any further discussion or questions? If not, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 13 is acknowledgement notice of raffles to be conducted by the Watertown Hockey Association and by the Benedictine Sisters Foundation. And if we could have a motion for that, please.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Alderman Arbogast. Is there a second? Seconded by Alderman Solberg. Any further questions or discussions? I think the hockey one may be over. I'm not sure, though. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Agenda item number 14 is the open. Is there anyone to bring anything before the open? If not, then we'll move to old business, item number 15. Pending applications for alcoholic beverage licenses. Under A1, the transfers from Wilden Incorporated to Lunkers, that will remain tabled. Item number 2 is transfer from David Bluedorn to GAD Incorporated, which was an on-off malt beverage license, and we would need a motion to remove this from being tabled. So moved by Alderman Solberg. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Alderwoman Arbogast. Any questions or discussion? Everything's in order to act on this transfer, so if we can have all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We'll now act on the transfer from David Bluedorn to GAD Incorporated on an on-off malt beverage license. Could we have a motion, please? So moved by Alderman Solberg. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Heller. Any further questions or discussions?
Yes, this was, this application was tabled at your last meeting because we hadn't received the final background checks from the state of Texas on one of the owners of the corporation. Since that meeting, we have received that, and everything is clean, so it's good to go.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item number A3, which is a new wine license, that will remain tabled. Under other old business, we have intern Stephen Anderson, who has requested to have an internship with the city of Watertown under Josh Folkerts, our information technology person. Stephen, would you like to step up to the mic and?
Hi,
Hi, Stephen.
I'm Steve Anderson. I'm currently going to Lake Area Tech for networking. I'll be graduating this fall, and part of the requirement is to have an internship, and by picking it through this city, there's a wide area of learning in my field.
You'll be able to learn a lot from Josh. Okay. Good luck. Good luck. Does anyone have any?
Are you a goose hunter?
No.
You probably will be.
One guy working anyway.
Be kind to Josh, will you?
Yeah, we're just teasing Josh. Does any?
Plus you have to like Josh's dog.
Yeah. Are there any questions to Stephen?
Just welcome.
Okay. Tracy, do we need council action then to approve that then? Could I have a motion to approve Stephen's?
I'll do that.
Motion by Alderman Giselbeck. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Heller. Any further questions or discussions? If not, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Welcome aboard, Stephen. Under item number 16 is new business. Is there any new business to come before the board? If not, is there any liaison member reports? Item number 18, executive session. We will need to go into executive session for land negotiations, contractual negotiations, and personnel issues. So there will be no action taken after we come out of executive session. So could we have a motion to go into executive session? So moved by Alderman Heller. Is there a second? Seconded by Alderman Stolberg. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We will go into executive session.